What I thought we would talk about today is as always, a little bit more deeper sense, or let's go behind the scenes of what that would involve. And the word that comes up when I think about this is the word drive. So we're going to talk today a few points about what really drives people to greater levels, success, achievement, all these accolades, power, fame, whatever it is that's motivating someone. And those are typically the words that we think of when we think of leadership. Someone in a leadership position, someone in a leadership role. They've had to achieve something because they're potentially directing others to follow or to learn or having some type of influence or impact on other people. And so this takes a little drive. And so I thought we would look at three specific areas from a neurological perspective of how your nervous system looks at leadership and drive. So three specific things. And the first one that we want to look at, what motivates and what drives your nervous system. So yeah, I know on the surface we got time and money and freedom and power and growing the companies and being that big wig and having all these people under us and having that influence, right? And that sense of accomplishment and achievement. But realize first and foremost, right off the bat, that the nervous system has no clue what any of that is. The nervous system has no idea what your business is, has no idea what your employees are, has no idea what tens of millions of dollars is. It only has a few things on its mind, and we're going to talk about that. The first one, it's what it's concerned with and what sort of motivates it is pleasure. This is what your nervous system has been designed for you to experience pleasure. And in a very basic sense, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling excited, feeling rewarded. And obviously, based on the individual, that could show up many different ways, be defined as many different ways. Simply knowing that your nervous system has been designed so that you would experience pleasure, feel good, whether not only physically, but emotionally as well. Okay? And so know that when you set goals and dreams and ambitions and these benchmarks for your company and business, your head is thinking one thing as to the numbers and the people and what it means with how the business is positioned and what it's producing and stockholders and share, all that, right? But again, your nervous system has no clue what that means, has no idea what it is, and it absolutely is not motivating at all. What does motivate your nervous system is how will that feel? What type of pleasure do I get from that experience? So one of the biggest pitfalls, one of the biggest mistakes people make when setting all these big goals and dreams and ideas on paper and what their head comes up with is forgetting about what the nervous system wants. What about what's involved with the subconscious at that level? Since it doesn't know any of that or doesn't understand what that is, what does it understand? What does it connect with? And that's feeling good. That's pleasure. So the first thing is always associating when I achieve this, when I'm experiencing this, when this is actually happening, it's going to feel like this. How does this, why is it important? What's the pleasure I'm getting from that? Very powerful. Second thing that the nervous system is concerned with and is motivated by, and we're sort of going in a ascending order. We're looking at what is the most powerful force that creates drive, motivation, and movement in a human being's nervous system. And the second one is pain. So first, we want to pursue and go after pleasure. We like this one, we're after that. But even more powerful and even more intense human drive is to avoid this, is to stay away from pain. In fact, a good strategy as we're setting this goal, this objective, this thing that we're all after as a team, as a company, as a group, is not only to connect with the pleasure that each one, because everybody's going to experience pleasure in a different way, so it's important to expose them. What does that look like? Someone goes on a trip, someone gets a massage, someone gets an extra financial bonus, whatever, right? But the flip side is, what's going to happen if we don't get there? That's actually even more powerful of a motivator neurologically than the pleasure. We are designed for pleasure, but we default to pain. Meaning that's going to show up on my radar, my nervous system's radar, a heck of a lot faster than this thing. Because pleasure is actually where we should be. It's sort of, there's no threat involved with that. It's we expect. It's where we should. This is the natural state for us. Just like pain. When pain's in the body, that rate's pretty high on the radar because you know it's not normal. Feeling good is normal. That's pleasurable. Not a whole lot of drive there because it's designed to be that way. When there's potential threat or potential pain or potential harm or hurt, not physically, but emotionally, that's powerful. So those two, very powerful. In fact, research says this is 80% more powerful, more motivating than the pleasure part of it. So these two components are huge when we're talking drive, when we're talking moving groups of people in one direction, knowing that neurologically there's little to no connection with the surface goal, ambition, what's been outlined as far as projections and where we're moving the company and how much in sales and productivity. Nervous system has no clue what any of that means. Oh, but it does know again that if we get that, I get to spend more time with my family, whatever. And if we don't get that, I'm working twice as hard for no pay. Do you follow? So pain, pleasure. Here's the most powerful human drive is to behave. Behave consistently with your existing belief system. About what? About you. So, the most powerful human drive, neurologically speaking, at a subconscious level, is to behave consistently with who you believe you are to be. And so when we talk about leadership, when we talk about drive, when we talk about growth and making positive change in your life, it will never, ever, ever happen unless you already believe it's possible. And so you may even heard that, it may even sound a little cliche. What I'm saying is, for the most part, we don't have any conscious awareness of our belief system. But your belief system only thinks about one thing, you, your safety. That's the only thing it understands. It doesn't understand goals and objections and projections and money and sales. It doesn't understand any of that. It does understand, are they behaving? Are they acting? Are they speaking and feeling consistent with what has been accepted at a level of your autonomic nervous system about who you are? We call that identity. And in our work, in our systems, we do identity-based training, identity-based coaching. Because if the neuroscience research is true, the most powerful human behavior, the thing that's going to drive and motivate and keep people moving, and keep people in action, and avoid procrastination, hesitation, confusion, it's when your goals line up with who you are.